different kinds of reactions, love here and there, thumbs up, clapping your hands. I mean, this is it. This is it. 5 months ago, we began this journey, and now we are here. Now we are here, about to do this, capping up or wrapping up this particular wonderful experience, right? With amazing projects, with amazing products. And if you ask me, this is one of the best parts of the GAC for me, where we get to talk about actionable steps that we are going to take, in transforming our education and transforming the world at large, right? Without further ado, I would be passing the microphone to YxY and Rufin, who would be our MCs for today. And I'm sure they've got something cooking. Over to you, YxY.
All right, thank you so much, Tomiwa. Thank you so much to everyone. You're all welcome to the Peace Education GAC. This is a very lovely Global Action Circle. It has been an awesome experience from the beginning. There are some times we had some setbacks as a result of technological default, but so far, each and every one of us here has shown so much commitment to the journey. Each and every one of us here has shown so much dedication. And I'm so happy that we are finally here to share what we have been preparing for the past 5 months. Yeah, the past 5 months. So I'm just one of the MCs. My other MC is the one and only Rufin Kungwa. So I'm going to pass it on to you. Maybe he has a few words to say as well before we continue.
Yes. Thank you so much, Brother Bacon, for this for giving me the speech. And it's really a pleasure to be part of this, and I really appreciate. Hi again, everyone. For those ones who don't really know me, I'm Rufin Kungwa. I'm a Congolese by nationality, but currently living in Uganda as a refugee. Also working or volunteering as a teacher, also working with the Association of Teachers Nakivale, and I'm passionate about education. So it was a pleasure for us today, because we are going to showcase what we have been doing during all these five months. We went through different things there. We had many topics, many learning questions, and we developed them and turned them into projects. And that's why we are going now to start also pitching. Thank you. I can give you back the mic.
Thank you so much, Rufin. So the theme of our GAC is empowering youth through peace building. We all come from, members of our GAC come from different parts of the world. However, there's one thing that binds us all together, is that desire to bring peace to wherever we are found in the different communities where we are located. And that's something which I truly appreciate. When we find something that binds us together and focus on that thing that unites us, I think there's so much we can achieve. And yeah, so we're going to have 4 major presentations today. People who have so many wonderful ideas, and they would like to present you what they have been working on for the past couple of months. The first is Karen. Karen is going to present her project. Karen is from the beautiful land of Kenya. She's concerned about lonely, elderly, and idle young persons. And she wants to look for a way where the elderly and the young, she has identified the problem in a community where the elderly are lonely and the young are idle. So she has come up with a project where she wants to, solve both problems. She wants to shoot those 2 birds using just 1 stone. So I'm going to pass it over to Karen. She's going to present to us what she has been working on. Over to you, Karen. Are you ready? If you are ready, you can take over.
Yes, I'm ready, and I'm going to use the sharing screen. Good evening, everybody. Greetings, everybody. Let me just start. Okay.
Yes, good evening.
This sharing screen is a little difficult for me to handle. I have a PowerPoint presentation. Where do I go? Here. Okay, here we are. Are we able to see this?
I believe.
Yes, you can see.
Yeah,
we can see your screen.
you can see the screen.
Yes,
Yes.
the presentation is
Yes.
not yet open though.
It's not yet opened. Is it open now?
Yes.
Is it open now? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, my name Karen Atieno Yengo. My project is called Sparkling Reciprocating Ventures. I'm looking at,
Karen,
are we able to see this?
I'm not seeing the presentation. Is it just me?
The same here. I can see it too.
You can see it.
I see it, the icon, but can you double click it again? So the PowerPoint that you're seeking to open. Is it open for you?
Is it open?
Maybe try resharing again, or, oh, there it is. Perfect.
It's perfect now.
Yeah, there we go.
Very fine.
Okay,
Oh,
so number one, are you able to say this now?
Yes.
Yes.
My name Karen Atieno Yengo. The project is Sparkling Reciprocating Ventures. I'm looking at lonely elderly persons. We can see how they are, very desolate. And I'm looking at idle young persons. These two groups of people are very vulnerable and they need to do activities together to lessen their loneliness and their idleness. These are some more pictures of lonely elderly persons. We can care for them, as you can see, washing the feet of some, taking care of the sick in bed, building for them places of shelter, etc. I'm looking at farming activities because elderly people in the area that I live in have huge tracts of land. So you can build, you can plant, like we have a place for fish at the bottom there, we have a pond. And then we also have chicken and we have goats and all kinds of things. Once these agricultural products are ready for sale, we can involve young persons to sell. They will increase their nutritive ability. They will lessen their idle behavior. You can rear livestock and fish, and as you can see, quite a bit, including birds. This is the office that I want to establish, where we have all kinds of activities, including health activities, dancing, so that there is a lot of peace in the mind of the elderly because they're lonely, and peace in the minds of the idle persons because they're idle. And at the bottom of the screen there, I have God has used for all the old people because they're looked upon as people who are not valuable. It's like their sell-by date has already come. Now the pictures I've taken from, and I have noted them in some documents. Now my question is, we need to act. So I'd like you to observe the following. It's another screen. Listen and observe this.
Beautiful. This will be a good idea. Elderly with the resource of land. A young
strong but idle person put together, they will benefit one another. Wow.
How are you, my daughter?
I'm fine, Mama.
You're welcome. You looking for something?
No, Mama. I was admiring this land. Looks fertile but idle. Is it yours?
Yes, my husband used to steal the land, but he died some years ago. I'm weak and old, can't grow anything.
I'm sorry, Mama. I have an idea that will put the land into use. The produce from the land will be sold. You will benefit, and so will be the other participants. I still have a third one to share. Another video. That has refused to come. Oh. This will take us some 3 minutes or so. I'd like you to listen.
When you're living alone,
Are you able to see this one?
And just audio where he first bit of it.
when you're living alone, life can be a little bit lonely. Some of these guys say that they just sit indoors and see the days just wash away. I live alone. I don't get a lot of company. After I retired, I was just so bored being at home with absolutely nothing to do. I knew Dad was lonely. He was getting a bit.
It's refusing to do the video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If the audio works, we can just listen to the audio.
When you're living alone, life can be a little bit lonely. Some of these guys say that they just sit indoors and see the days just wash away. I live alone. I don't get a lot of company. After I retired, I was just so bored being at home with absolutely nothing to do. I knew Dad was lonely. He was getting a bit depressed. And Dave has become a central part in my dad's life. I've got sort of a situation now with Stan where I do feel part of his family. Occasionally, I do have to work away from home, and Stan, he gets a bit depressed then. I phone him while I'm away, and he tells me he's missing me, and it's quite choking me out right now. Except my son, and he's too far away. But I come here 3 times a week. I think I'd go up the wall if I was at home all the time.
It's really important to have something where older people can just gather around and socialise, even just talk.
It's good company, and we do a lot of useful social things together. They're
thoroughly enjoy it. Well, it helps me because I was a little bit stiff. And since I had a little exercise, I feel much freer, you know, in my body. It staves off depression. It's good exercise, isn't it? I mean, look at our figures. I feel satisfied with myself because I've got myself up and done something. You know what I mean? Though I've achieved something when I've been here, it makes you feel good that you're able to convert. Because I live by myself, so this is the only company I get.
Yeah, it's at the end of that presentation. My presentation has come to an end. Sorry for that, you couldn't see the video. Okay.
Karen, if you'd like to send us those videos via email, we can share it in the follow-up so that people can watch it. And I'd love to hear in your words the takeaway that you from your Global Action Circle experience in around this theme.
I actually uploaded them. It's just that this has refused to play, but I will do the same. I'll send them again to the emails. Okay, thank you very much.
Amazing,
thank you for listening
amazing.
and for watching. Okay.
Thank you so much, Karen. I think you had a very powerful presentation. And I mean, these are like visible problems that exist in many African communities. And I'm glad to know that this is something that you're interested, to work on, right? So if you have any questions for Karen, you can drop them in the chat box so we can move to the next person, right? I would also be dropping a message for a question for you in the chat box, Karen, and you can attend to it also in the chat box. So if you have some time at the end of the session, maybe we could take some time off, or some time for Q&As. So thank you so much. I think it was a great project. Hi, Rufin. Could you introduce the next person, please?
Yes, exactly. After listening the great ideas from our mother Karen, we are going to shift to another person, and the second presenter is myself. I may say is Rufin. So it's me that I'm going to welcome myself here, and also let me tell you that before going far, I've already presented myself. I'm Rufin Kungwa, a Congolese by nationality, but currently living in Uganda for many years. And I'm also passionate about education and peace building. That's why I joined Youth by Youth, and I wanted to contribute also for this transformation that we are going through. So I'll directly go to share my screen. I think you guys can see my screen there. Is my screen seen for everyone there?
Yes, Rufin. Yes.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, I know that we went through a journey of 5 months, and I wrote many things. I wrote many things on my scrapbook, but I couldn't come and start presenting all those things from the scrapbook. That's why I made these PowerPoints. Now, My learning question during the journey was, how can education contribute for peace building in communities with conflict? Now, because I'm coming from the community that war is affecting many people there, and people are struggling in a lot, and even those people are forced to flee from their countries of origin. Then they start becoming refugees, and this one really touched me. That's why I came with this question: how we can now end all those things. Now, my sub questions were: if there are any analytic mechanism to prevent the conflict and war consequences, and how much we engage all the community to work for this sensitization of peace building. Here, I'm going to call upon everyone to start thinking of how we can now come up with different techniques to prevent war and conflict. Here, I had also a shadow question, as you can see: how can I be more confident to convince rebels to stop disturbing and killing people without even a reasonable cause? This is a fun question, and also I'm going to move. So that's what I thought about what is phase. It was all about gathering crucial information concerning the concepts of peace, where there are insights, insecurity, conflict, war, injustice, and peace building as a tool to restore everything destroyed by war. And then here, in this phase, I'm going to tell you something that I started now thinking of what is happening in Eastern DRC. People are being killed by these rebels, and you can see they are M23, and these people don't really have pity. I also thought about what is happening in Libya, in South Sudan, in Central Africa, even Ukraine today, Afghanistan, Syria, Yemen, Iraq. All these things made me to start thinking on how I could come with something great, so that we may end all these things. Now here, as you can see, we need to take with much consideration the peacemaking and peacekeeping, as they include early warning and responses efforts, violence prevention and advocacy work, humanitarian action, assistance, ceasefire agreements, and establishment of peace zones. So we are going to find that it's not easy to reach at the point of peace building. It requires a long period, and it needs the engagement of everyone. So that's why you're going to see, after thinking of all those things, then I reach now at the point of asking, what should I do now? Is now the what now phase. Now on this phase now, I came up with my project. My project's called Stride for Peace Building, and this Stride for Peace Building is the project that I'm now running it under the AHTN, the Association of Teachers Nakivale. And this, I'm really sure that this will going to make an impact. I may come with the project context, coming from Eastern DRC, the most unsecured region of the country, here in Eastern DRC. When you're living there, you feel like you are not secured. You feel like you can even die at any time. Even you can be walking on the road, and suddenly you feel like, hey, you are walking with people there. Then suddenly you die without even any reason. And also to see what is happening here in Nakivale, and as I can see, the problem that faces DRC, Rwanda, Uganda, they are only fighting. Now, what if we only come together and start saying that we don't need to start fighting anymore, and we end all these things? So for me, I feel like only people can come together and start collaborating and everything there. That's why my target is to engage teachers, pupils, parents, leaders in all the community to better understand the alternative techniques and methods to discover the many causes of war, the insecurity and conflict, in order to bring solutions to prevent its consequences and reset peace. So for me, I want now to create a space where people will be coming and feel free to discuss about peace, and even exhibit their talents and cultures, because when you start respecting different cultures, that will even help you to feel pity and to start communicating well with those people. Actually, I want to engage teachers and pupils here, because I believe that if only we start investing into our children mindset, this will not have the impact today, but we shall have led a legacy to these people by inspiring them with the historic leaders, like what Mahatma Gandhi did, what Nelson Mandela did, what Obama did, what Martin Luther King did, what Thomas Sankara. All those people, if we start inspiring these kids since the early age, they will start developing different characters like pity, empathy, love, tolerance, compassion. And this, because you are going to find there are some kids who don't even know how to share. They can even want to finish the loaf of bread while others are struggling there near them. So once we start teaching them how to love, they will love. And if we teach them how to hate, they will hate. That's why we need to emphasize them into this. And also, we can always do these things. That's why I have also my strategic case with the Ubuntu philosophy. With Ubuntu philosophy, this one shows us the love of humanity, the man of love, compassion. That's what I've been saying there about. Here we start with peace building and public engagement. Here we want to create a space where people will be coming and share many things. Organize events like tournaments, football tournaments. When people are also playing together, they will have developed some cohesion there, some social cohesion, and culture and art exhibition. Also workshops inspiring, I talked about this. Then capacity building on conflict solutions. Then what will be the project outcome? We shall have their healing circles. Like I may mention their trauma. You're going to find out here in the community where I live, in Akiva refugee settlements, there are many people who are now traumatized because of the situation that they went through. They lost many things there, and they're now asking many questions. Where are they going to start from? So I will only share with you through the workshops and also capacity buildings and what I've already done for this peace building. I've been moving around schools, as you can see there. This is after teaching these kids, and there were also parents. After teaching them about peace building, we took a picture. Then here we were also in the session with parents, teaching them about peace building, for also showing the diversity in different communities. Here we have people from Somali, we have people from Ethiopia, and some of them are from Rwanda. As you can see here, they are Muslims. Here we have also other schools. So I have many pictures. I couldn't share all. And here we were only sharing about peace with our youth. As you can see here, I have my childhood friend Fiston Muganda, as you are going also to listen to him. Then we have many people there. So we shared a lot. We have been holding these sessions, and yeah, for finishing, I may require everyone who is here with these words of Michael Jackson. I really like them. He wrote the song. This, I think everyone can even sing it. I know there is a place in your heart, and I know that is love. So you guys can also think of it. Start thinking of how you can heal the world, make it a better place where a better place for you and for me and for the entire human race. And I think so. I'm going to finish my presentation by saying that we need to be engaged if we want only to see the change. So thank you so much. This was what I really prepared for you. If you have any question, you're most welcome.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Rufin. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It was great to it was really amazing to get to see, how deeply invested you are in the work that you do, in your community, and how you've allowed your living to lead, your doing. I don't know if that makes sense to you. I mean, this is something that you've experienced, and now you're working actively to make sure that other young people like yourself do not experience the same thing. Thank you so much, Rufin, for being, unapologetically you. And I think that's like very, very important. If you have questions for Rufin, please drop them in the chat box, and I'm sure that he's going to get to answer them. For other folks who have their presentations coming up, please know that you have only 5 minutes for you to make your presentation, so that we can see if we would have rooms to ask and answer questions at the end of the session, right? So just 5 minutes for your presentation. I know that you have a lot of things to say. I know that you have so much to share. You can't possibly compress 5 months into 5 minutes, but we are only begging and asking that you try, right? I would hand the mic over to YxY so that he can introduce the next person.
Thank you. YxY, aren't you ready?
Hi, YxY,
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. Your mic was muted earlier.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rufan, for the wonderful presentation. It's amazing how we all know everyone in this GSC, like I said from the beginning, we all have this thing in common, want to bring peace in our community. And we all believe that love is love for one another. That is that one cure that can act as an antidote to all the problems we face today. So thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for the fire. We hope that it keeps on burning. We move on to our next presentation, and it's from Seka Jean Blaise. And Seka Jean Blaise is a global youth ambassador. He's an open dreams. He's a global youth ambassador for the award. He's an open dreams scholar, and he's also the founder of the YxY Foundation. The YxY Foundation is an organization that works to empower young people through education. And his project today is how to empower internally displaced persons. And these internally displaced persons have also been affected by the war in Cameroon. So I'm sure you can already start seeing the awesome similarities we have in this global action circle. So Rufan is looking for ways to spread peace in his community through education as a result of war. And Seka wants to use education to empower those who have been affected by the war. So it's something which is it's something which is really powerful. And Seka, are you ready?
Greetings, Valentina. Greetings, April. And greetings to everyone in the house. So I want to say I was born ready. I'm ready. Nice. I was born ready. So yeah, I'll just head directly to my presentation. So if you permit me, I'll share my screen so I can show you what I brought up.
You can share.
All right, thank you. All right, I hope you can see my screen now. I'll just start the presentation. All right. So here we go. So this is my presentation for Learning Festival 2023 from the Global Action Cycle on Peace Education. So I'll be presenting on the YxY Foundation. So we cannot go without first of all knowing who the presenter is. Let me just give again a brief information about the background of the presenter. So who am I? Sekajan Bless is my name. And I am the president and founder of the YxY, the World Global Youth Ambassador, an Open Dream Scholar, and I'm an education activist. So let's head directly to the agenda of the day. So the brief intro and background about the presenter, which is what I've just done. So I structured my presentation to really answer the youth by youth questions, which we have what is, what now? And then I also have the YxY Foundation at the end. So I'll go with first of all, we would like to examine the pictures of certain things that that really exist now. That is what is. This is what is now. So we look at these few pictures, then from there we can start reasoning out what the pictures are talking about. So the first picture, we can see people rioting. So that's the Anglophone crisis in Cameroon, which started in 2016. This crisis has displaced more than 933,000 English-speaking Cameroonians and rendered most of them homeless. So the picture next to that one, you can see children holding a blackboard. The person on green and white t-shirt, I'm the one that is actually guiding children in my community to teach them basic literacy skills in mathematics, reading and writing. This is because the crisis have deprived these children of their access to education and they are unable to go to school. So I gather them in my neighborhood and teach them these basic literacy skills with a little local blackboard. So the next picture to that, the person standing on the chantier with construction sites, I'm the one. So that is when we came to Yaoundé, when we fled the Anglophone crisis, I was unable to go to school. I started working at construction. Yes.
Jambless, please we can't see the slide you're talking.
You are not seeing my pictures and the slides.
Yeah,
we can see the first
slide.
We can see the first one, but you know you've been moving to the next one and the next, but we can't really see.
Okay, I don't know if you see my screen.
Yeah, we can see your screen. All right, it's moving now. So you could just move on to the current slide where you were presenting on.
All right.
Now it's working, Seka. You can continue.
Yeah, you can continue with your presentation, Seka.
I'm in a bit of difficulties out here. So I might just continue the presentation verbally. I have everything. The problem is that the network is actually not the best from here. So that's why I'm having difficulties. So
Maybe, oh, I think you're back. Seka, if you want to try again.
okay. Yeah, I'm back. All right. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Oh. All right. Okay. Okay, you can see the pictures on the screen, right?
Yes.
So that is, yes, I was actually at YxY. So I was explaining the crisis in Cameroon, and I was at the level of the next person on the standing at the construction site. That's actually I'm the person, and that's when I came here to Cameroon. when when I came to Yaoundé, when the crisis began with my family of 7, so I started working at construction sites to support the education of my 4 junior siblings. So the next person, you see the next picture with people beside, you tell them that you see the next picture with people beside. Those are also internally displaced persons in Cameroon. I went for community mapping exercise in my community, and I saw these internally displaced persons. So all of them, there were 7 of them, they were actually living in a single room house. So from the next picture, you can see people making a lot of posts. So that is what is actually happening in Cameroon. So the major problems, as I classified beside, we have hate speech, we have misinformation, disinformation, fake news, we have the Anglophone crisis, displacement of internally displaced of English-speaking Cameroonians, homelessness, and limited access to education. So I will just go to the next question, which is what if? So these questions and this experience has made me to start thinking out of the box. I've seen life from a different perspective because of my personal experiences as an internally displaced person. So I started bringing some questions to really reflect on my personality. And that question is, what if we carry out fact-checking before posting or sharing information in Cameroon? So what if democracy was exercised to the fullest in Cameroon? Does this mean the Anglophone crisis would have been avoided? What if marginalized populations are empowered on income generation skills to support their families? Will this stop the crisis? What if every child in Cameroon had access to quality education? And what if Cameroonian youth engage in peace building? Will this stop the crisis? So that is what I've actually been reflecting on for the past time. And this actually pushed me to come up with the foundation, the YxY Foundation. So that is the third part of the presentation, which is what now. So what now? We have the YxY Foundation. The YxY Foundation is a youth-led organization that strengthens the capacity of displaced persons in Cameroon, and I'm the president and founder of this initiative. So the YxY Foundation works with 9 youths to reach out to internally displaced persons in Cameroon. So you can see our vision on the banner, which is we envision a peaceful world where every child will have an equal chance of accessing a quality education, no matter their background. This is because education is a right and not a privilege. But in Cameroon, education is only for those that have the privilege to go to school. And at the YxY Foundation, we want to work hard to make sure that every person, especially migrants and internally displaced persons who are war victims of the Anglophone crisis, have access to education. So the mission of the YxY Foundation, our mission is strengthening the capacity of internally displaced persons through quality education, entrepreneurship, and civic engagement for nation building. And our vision is we envision a peaceful world where every child will have an equal chance of accessing a quality education regardless of their background. So these are some of our works. We work to train internally displaced persons, especially the girl children, since they are the most affected populations. We work to train them on income generation skills, such as beads making. You can see the crafts on the screen. The crafts have been designed by internally displaced girls that I reach out to them. Some of these girls are victims of early marriages, rape cases in the city here in Yaoundé because they don't have access to education. So my only way of reaching out to them was to empower them on income generation skills so they can raise revenue for themselves. So these are you can see after the training, I offered them some certification courses. I cannot show everything here in the screen, so it's just a little bit of what they are producing. And they're actually making a lot of income from that already. So that's some of our little works. I'll go now to one of our unique intervention programs. Our unique intervention programs that we're really developing is the YxY Eduphone and Empowerment Program for internally displaced persons in Cameroon. These children that I've been teaching and a lot of other internally displaced children, I want to reach out to them and actually make sure that they have access to education. So what are the objectives of the YxY Eduphone program? Our objective is academic support program for 50 internally displaced students who are unable to attend school. This is the program we run during the summer to actually make sure that 50 of these internally displaced girls and other children who don't have access to education because of the crisis, we want to support them to go back to school. Also, we have to want to organize counseling and orientation to orientate internally displaced students to overcome the psychological trauma of war that affect their social integration and academic performance. I've discovered from my relationship with internally displaced persons that one of the greatest problem that affect them that people don't talk about is the problem of psychological trauma. This is because that trauma of war and violence often affect their social integration in the community and even the academic performance. So that's the reason we organize this counseling session, to orientate them, to enable them to gain, to facilitate their social integration in the community. And lastly, we also empower the parents of internally displaced persons with entrepreneurship skills. That means we organize an entrepreneurship workshop within internally displaced households on income generation to enable them gain financial stability to support the education of their children, even after the YxY Fund and Empowerment Program. So now, after participating in Youth by Youth for the past 5 months, I could not just go without doing something of my own. So I decided to put another flagship program, which is the YxY Fellowship on Peace Education. This is a program that I will use to really share the knowledge I learned from Youth by Youth, especially from April. I thank you, April, so much for your contribution and from everyone in my group. So I'm coming up with this project, the YxY Fellowship on Peace Education. So the YxY Fellowship on Peace Education is a leadership program that will empower young Cameroonians to foster peace through education, sensitization, and advocacy campaigns. We will bring them on site and online to actually build them on peace, to actually empower them on peace building skills. So what are the objectives of the YxY Fellowship on Peace Education? Our objectives are to educate young Cameroonians on peace building, to be self-reliant peace builders. We also teach young Cameroonians fact-checking skills to counteract disinformation, misinformation, fake news, and hate speech to foster peace in Cameroon. And we also create the Internally Displaced Persons National Forum. It is a digital platform that will create during this fellowship that will connect war victimized youth with limited access to education to our schools counselors and mentors who will actually guide and follow up on the academic progress. So that is the objectives of the YxY Fellowship. And we also empower every Cameroonian on basic skills such as democracy, civic engagement, and conflict resolution. So now I will end my presentation here, but I will not end without going to an end, without giving greatest thanks to Christina and the entire Youth by Youth team for giving me this opportunity to learn and to teach. I also acknowledge the love, support, and contributions from the team members of my Global Action Cycle, especially April Garcia. And I will want to speak to each and every one of us this moment that let us hold hands together to foster a peaceful world where every child will have an equal chance of accessing a quality education, regardless of their background. Thank you for your time, kind attention. And if you have any question and there's still time, you can ask the question. But if you don't have time, you can maybe give to me on my inbox and we discuss on them later. So thank you so much for your time and your contributions. Thank you all.
Amazing, 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 amazing. Thank you so much, Seka. Thank you for that wonderful presentation. And it was a highly spirited one too, if I should add. Thank you for pouring your heart into this. And I really cannot wait to see the end product of this. So without wasting too much of time, if you do have any questions for Seka, please send them in the chat box and it will provide responses to them. YxY, could you introduce our last speaker for today? Your mic is muted, YxY.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Zika.
And by the way, before you go on, YxY, please note that we only have about 6 minutes to end this session, right? So it means the last speaker needs to go as fast as they can. I'm sorry, but we've taken so much of the time and we have another session coming up in a few minutes from now. Over to you, YxY.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Zika, for that wonderful presentation. I would love to pass it on to April. I'm sure you have already been hearing her name since we started. So it's time for you to experience why we speak so highly of her. Yeah. So April is going to talk about how we can put an end to misinformation in our society. Yeah. So over to you, April.
I was muted. Thank you, everyone. I'll be wrapping this up since we only have a few minutes left. But right now, my screen is still loading. Is it right? No slides yet.
Oh, maybe Seka, I think you need to stop sharing your screen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, I'll try to share again. Okay, yay. All right, so here we go. Let me wrap this up. So thank you everyone for coming. I am April. I am from the Philippines and I work as an education officer for AHA Learning Center, a non-government organization that helps support public school students. We give education, intervention, social and emotional learning intervention, and parent support because we believe that to help our kids become role models, we should be a community. And yes, so now let's go to my journey as a youth by youth activist in the last 5 months of the Global Action Circle. So this is Fight for the Truth, my journey to call for truth seekers. So let's start with the learning question that I had in the beginning and up until now. So my question is, how can we teach fact checking to students? This question started because of the elections that happened here in the Philippines in 2022. I saw how disinformation and misinformation was able to affect the perception of people with those who are running for office and for those who are already in office. And with that, I just got into a loophole of just searching about disinformation and found out that there is a country that is already teaching about fact checking and disinformation to their students, and that is Finland. So now, how can we do it in a country that has less resources when it comes to education? And that is what I want to figure out. So what can be done? So since I work as an education officer, that means I create modules for learning. And I want to create modules that would help the students enrich their critical thinking and build fact-checking habits among the students. So far, these are some of the picture here are the things that I have done so far, and there is still a long way ahead. Now, this is now the work that I have done so far. This is a truth seeker's mission. This is something that I wrote as a mantra to start the sessions with, because I believe that the sessions should be very intentional and that we should always have like a guide to start with. Now, I also wrote it in Filipino, because our students are in Filipino speakers and I want to be inclusive. And yes, using their mother language as a way to help them learn about disinformation and misinformation is really a big thing. So this is the Truth Seekers mission in Filipino. So now I'll just run through the next slides. These are just some of the session topics that I want to do. So we cover basics of news, misinformation and disinformation, fact-checking techniques, and finally, of course, in these exercises or in these sessions, we would have a skills check wherein we will be doing the things that we have been learning so far. So it's practically applying what you have learned so far, because application is the best way to learn. Yes. And I'll be also sharing the survey proper that I did. Let me just run through it as well. So these are just I know statements from the previous lessons that I showed earlier. And the students were just asked to answer through a Likert scale of agreement. And so what has been done so far? I was able to survey through the kids in our community. So 32 students from age 8 to 9. The variation in their survey is that I asked them yes or no, because it's easier for them to digest if it's just a yes or no statement. And I'll just show you the survey results as well. So these are the survey results, and the most striking one is that 91% do not know the difference between a paid content and a news article. So even though these kids are very techy, there is still a lot of work to do for them to understand that there is a difference between what is paid and what is a news. Yes. And now I've also surveyed 72 of our older students, which are from the ages 10 to 14, and they had the same survey, but the difference is this: since they had a Likert scale of agreement, 5 points. So The numbers are smaller, but I just checked the ones that had the highest in it, and most of them agree that they know what fact checking is, 28%. So that means that there is still a lot of number to fill so that they would know and understand what fact checking and how to fact check. So finally, what did we learn in this process? People are having a hard time, or the students are having a hard time discerning what is paid and not. And misinformation and disinformation are terms that may not be familiar with them. And finally, they may have heard of fact checking through news or through the internet that they are always in, but they may not know how to do it. And finally, the survey that I did is just a way to know or to assess what the students need for now. And the lesson plans and all of the modules are still currently in process, and I do hope to be able to finish them to run in the next school year for our education interventions here in AHA Learning Center. So yes, if ever that you have any more questions, please do connect with me. And thank you, everyone. Thank you, Valentina, and thank you, Youth by Youth, for giving me this platform to share. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. What a beautiful way to wrap up. I mean, well done, April. Well done, April. I think you have done an amazing job. I think what you've done so far is very fantastic and very much needed in this age of information technology. Thank you so much, to every single one of you who has, put in all of their efforts to make this showcase possible. And I think you've all done tremendously well. If you do have any questions, you can always put your contact email addresses, in the chat box so people can reach you, for whatever questions they need answered. And yeah, this brings us to the end of the very first showcase of the 2023 Learning Festival. And I know that we were all not just entertained, but also enlightened, concerning all the various issues that every single person here has to share. We have a session coming up. We should have started right about now, but because we don't just want to transition into that, so we'll take the next 1 to 2 minutes, to dust off whatever needs to be dusted off, take a bathroom break, drink water if you need to, because the next one will knock your socks off, right? You'll be hearing some music play in about 1 minute to 2 minutes, and then by 4 minutes past the hour, we get started on our next session. And I know that our speakers are very, very much ready. Don't go anywhere, stay where you are, take water if you need to, but do come right back.
Thank you all. Thank you, Peace Education.
Thank you, everyone.
Yes, this is amazing to see this. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you what you wanna hear.